Good morning, folks. So, it's starting to get cold, and I wanted to go over some of the types of heaters that you could use in a tent or in your house. This here is my kerosene heater. It runs off of kerosene, right? Just make sure that when you get it, that it is for, that the kerosene that you get is for heaters. So you can double check that by looking on the bottle, and it'll say 1 to 4K heater and appliance fuel, crystal clear, no dyes, clean burning, right? Now this little heater here, I've had this a couple years now. I use this as supplemental heating because my heat pump in my house doesn't heat the living room and the kitchen up as well as it does the other side of the house. So I use this as supplemental heating. One full tank on this can last me on high about 4 hours. On the lower setting, when I take the wick and I drop the wick down on the low, it'll last 8 hours. So I will say this: start this when you first get this heater. You want to take it outside. You want to start it outside, right? And while you're burning this heater, you need to make sure that your carbon monoxide detectors are in the room that you're burning the heater. This little heater here, it is called a DuraHeat, and it will heat up my 1,200 square foot house in about an hour, and it will last, like I said, up to 8 hours if I keep it on low, and it will keep my house at about 72 degrees. So I really highly recommend this. I do not recommend this for a tent. So if you're in a tent, we've got a different step. And now here's my other steps. This right here is an Alpine wood stove. And as you can see, I haven't pulled it all out and I haven't set it all up because it comes in a case with the stovepipes, and the stovepipes are taller than my ceiling. And I use it with a Duraflame log. This Duraflame log will last about an hour. It says an hour and a half, about an hour. But the reason I like this Alpine is, as you can see, it has a cooking surface, so you can cook on it. Okay, if you use a wood stove in your tent, you want to make sure you have no burnables near that, and you want to put a heat shield under the wood stove so it doesn't burn the floor of your tent. And you need to make sure that your tent has a wood stove hole in the top, right? So it's a hot tent. It's not just a regular like Coleman stove tent, right? I got this off of Amazon. It was about $130. I'm pretty sure they still have this. And they have all kinds of different stoves like this for tents. But like I said, you need to make sure that your tent has the hole for the stovepipe to go up. And when you're burning this wood stove, you need to take your precautions with having a crack in your windows on your tent so you get fresh air into the tent, right? Again, good to use. And one log, like I said, they say an hour and a half. I've noticed that it only lasts for about an hour. Another thing I use in the tent is I use the Mr. Buddy heater with the small propane tanks. Now I have the attachment to attach it to a 20, 30, 40 pound propane tank. The Mr. Buddy heater is good and tense. Again, you need to put a heat shield on the bottom of your floor of your tent. And again, you need to crack like a door or a window near it so that you don't get carbon monoxide. Also, I would not start this in the tent. I would start it outside the tent just in case you have a fire. And I would put it away from where pets and people are going to be walking in and out of the tent. The reason for that is if this tips over, it's very easy, since this is an open flame, it's very easy for you to start a fire. That is your second option for heat in a tent, right? Now, my third option is my little Lasco heater with my Jackery solar panel and generator. I highly recommend that you have at least one, if not two of these at your house at all times. Reason being, you never know when the power is going to go out, especially in bad weather. You never know when you're going to have to make sure that you keep people warm, like in a tent or something of this nature. If you do buy a solar generator with a little heater like this runs on electric, and this little Jackery will run this little heater for about 8 hours before it's out of power. Take the time to actually buy the solar panel that goes with that generator, or a solar panel that you can use with that generator, because solar generators, you have to recharge them, and unfortunately, you have to rely on the sun for that, which is why I have these other options. Now, these are my options. These I have with me all the time. Okay, I have at least one of these in my pickup truck or in my go bag at all times. Okay, I've pulled them out here to show you so that you get an idea of what you can use, because let's be honest, folks, we can't trust the government to come to our aid. We cannot. Like I said, I love this heater here. I've used this for a couple years now, no problem. I even have the little wood stove fan on top of it that it blows, through the house. And I can use this if my power goes off and I have heat all through my house. Okay. But these options here are more for grab it and go. Right? But you want to have, as we're moving into the cold season, it was about 20 degrees here this morning. Right? And the dog's water was frozen. The chicken's water was partially frozen. So, very cold, right? Now, another thing you can do if you're in a tent is make sure you have the proper sleeping bag for that region. If you go to Walmart, you're going to get a sleeping bag that's good for in the summer. It's about 50 degrees is good for that. But you want to spend a little bit of extra money. It could only be $10 to $20 more to actually get the 0 degrees sleeping bag. And the reason for that is thicker. And if you're in a tent and you're stuck in a tent for a number of days, like unfortunately a lot of people up in Northwest North Carolina are, a 50 degree sleeping bag, it may give you a little bit of heat, but it is after about an hour or two, it's no longer effective. And so you want the sleeping bag to be good to 0 degrees at minimum. And because you know, when you're in the cold weather and you're out there and you're in a disaster area, you're going to get wet, you're going to get cold, and you need to heat up quick. And I recommend, my recommendation on sleeping bags is a down sleeping bag. Reason for that is even if the down gets wet, it will still warm you up. Okay? But you can go synthetic. I have a couple synthetic sleeping bags. I have the wool blanket that goes inside the sleeping bag. I've got extra wool blankets at the house. I've got extra fleece blankets at the house. I love my fleece. I wear fleece quite a bit. And it is something that you need to think about. Now, every one of these items that I'm showing you is going to cost you less than $200. Okay? Now, the fuel is going to cost you more. This Alpine wood heater, like I said, I think I paid like $120 for it. Comes in a bag. It's got the stovepipe in a little bag where you can separate the stovepipes out. Everything comes with it. I love it. Okay? This little Lasco heater, right? I paid like $30 for that. And for the Jackery, I got the Jackery 3 years ago on Black Friday, and that was about $150 on the Black Friday sale just for the generator. Now, for the panel, I paid another $200. So that's a little bit more intense, but you know, the Mr. Buddy heater, I paid $110 for that. You can get the little propane tanks at Walmart, and they right now are $15 for 2 of them. So I'm not sure if they have a Black Friday sale on that or not. Plus extra $30 for the adapter cord to go to a 20, 30, 40 pound tank. This Dura heater here, I bought it, like I said, about 2 years ago. And I got this off of eBay. So these are on eBay, and I got this off of eBay, and it cost me $119. Now the fuel I got at Walmart, the little wood stove thing that spins, the little fan for a wood stove, I actually got that at a yard sale. So I paid like $5 for that. So you need to have at least 1 or 2 of these at your house. Okay? And you need to keep something in your vehicle in case you get stranded out in your vehicle. And I just thought I'd go over the various things that you could have. Of course, you know, you have electric blankets. You know, how you going to power the electric blanket? You got all that going on, right? So I hope this is helpful. This is just what I have on hand right here at the house, ready to go. You know, what you carry might be something totally different. And how you decide to do it might be something totally different. But this is the basics of what you want to look at, you know. Kerosene, propane, electric, or wood. That's your basics. So whichever works great for you. Now the wood stove, if you wanted to run the wood stove in the house, now you're going to have to do something and figure out how you're going to route the stovepipe out like a window, and that takes the, you know, the special heat guards, and it's a mess. Okay, this here is easy for me to set up. Boom, I'm ready to go. Right? You just make sure, especially with these two, with the Mr. Buddy heater and the Dura Heat, make sure that when you first light them, that you're outside away from the house with a fire extinguisher. Okay? Because you never know if these are going to go off on you when you light them. So you want to make sure that you're out away from anything flammable when you do. Okay? Um, and I hope that helps y'all. I'm sure y'all already knew this, but I just wanted to show what I do, and it's easy peasy, right? All of us wants to do easy peasy. It's a simple way to keep warm if crap hits the fan, right? It's a simple. Does it cost money? Yes. Can you get these on eBay? Yes. Can you get them on Amazon? Yes. All of these are available on Amazon. All of these are available on eBay. That's why I chose these. Okay? These are all available on both of those platforms. All of these you can get at Walmart or Home Depot, Lowe's. Okay? You can get all of these, right? You're going to pay a little bit more, obviously, for the tent stove than what you would get it off of like Amazon, right? It's just the way it is. But I hope this helps you to make the decision for what you want. Now, when I go camping, I take the wood stove and I take the little electric heater. So at night while I'm sleeping, I turn the wood stove off and I plug in the little electric heater. This keeps it warm in the tent, enough for me to sleep comfortably in my sleeping bag, which again, my sleeping bag is rated below 0, okay? And so I sleep very comfortably in my tent. And when I get up in the morning, boom, I start the wood stove. I now have something I can cook my coffee on with a canteen cup. I can have my instant coffee. We're ready to go. Right? These simple, easy peasy little steps will save your life, especially as winter's pouring in. If your electricity goes out, you want a second source of heat for your house. You don't want frozen pipes. You don't want to deal with trying to stay warm in a house and you didn't take the precautions of buying extra blankets or some kind of accessory heat. So there it is. And I absolutely hope this helps one of you out. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to comment below the video. And that's all I have for you today. And next week, I probably will not do a video next Saturday because I'm having major oral surgery. I'm having all my teeth on my bottom of my jaw pulled out next Friday. So I'm probably not going to be able to talk next Saturday. So if you don't get a video from me next week, that's probably why. And hopefully everything goes fine. We did our checkup yesterday to make sure that we're all good for that coming up next Friday. So everything's looking good for me to have that done. And something I've put off for about 10 years to have done. So that's all I have for you. And y'all enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. And we're out. Bicycle!